In this video, we will be exploring Costa's levels of questions. Socrates, the man in marble there, is father of Western philosophy, and he lived in Greece in about 470 to 399 BCE, or about 2,400 years ago. He is known for his epic intelligence and his practice of questioning all and everyone. In fact, he believed asking good questions is the key to learning. Modern science supports that asking good questions helps to activate your brain, which helps you and others dive deeper into a topic for a more meaningful understanding and to find useful answers. We are constantly asking questions, and we do it as soon as we learn to speak. Some questions are clear and simple with easy answers, like, what color is the sky? However, if you begin to dig a bit deeper and truly seek to understand something, the questions you have will become more complex, and the answers you find will hold more meaning and often lead to even more questions, such as why is the sky blue will lead to what kind of molecules make up the Earth's atmosphere? What are light rays? How does the shape of a light wave impact the colors that the eye can see? How does our brain interpret different color through our eyes? Do other animals see color the same way humans do? What color is the sky on other planets? And on as we learn more and more about the world around us and about ourselves. Because there are so many questions, and asking good questions is an important learning tool, Arthur Costa created a way to group questions into levels and give students meaningful ways to practice using questions to learn. It's helpful to think of a house or apartment when learning about the levels of questioning. The first level of questioning is about gathering information. Just like walking into the first floor of a building, the information to answer your question is easy to get to, and it's right in front of you. The second level of questioning is about processing the information. You're climbing the stairs, moving up, and trying to make sense of the information to develop a meaningful answer. The third level of questioning is similar to the top floors of a building. You worked hard to get to them. There was a lot of effort and application of information to new situations and making judgments or evaluations about which way to go. All this work helps you create a new view from that top floor or a new way of understanding. Let's take a better look at level 1 questions then. Don't think that just because these questions are at the bottom of the house that they are not important. Level 1 questions help us to confirm that we understand what we are reading or hearing or seeing. We need level 1 questions to support the next levels of questioning. You know you are asking a level 1 question when the answer can be found in the text, like you can actually put your finger on the answer. The answer will have to do only with the text, not issues beyond the direct information provided. Level 1 questions ask for facts and involve simple amounts of thinking. We use these most often to clarify or to remember something. If you see these verbs in the question or directions, then it's likely that you are using level 1 questions. The actions are clear and the answers are often directly in the text. These are question frames to help you start your thinking process and shape level 1 questions. Notice that they also start with those tried and true question words of what, how, where, when, why, and who. This is a great place to begin, and the level 1 questions shaped after these words will often be shorter and more direct. Be aware, though, that those question words are powerful, so even though they can be considered basic, they will absolutely be a part of questions shaped at every level. We will use these question examples in the next slides to help us see how questions can develop as we progress through levels of questioning on a topic. These are questions where the answers would be fact-based and the evidence to support your answer would be found directly in the text that you're studying. For all of these questions, I can rely on finding the answer and evidence to support my answer directly in the text. So moving on to level 2, the level 2 questions require more time and more thinking to answer. They allow us to dive a bit deeper into the topic and build our understanding as we're learning. We include the background details and clues from the text because answering these questions involves more inferences on our part. We need to use both the text and our own interpretation of the details to answer the question. You can find evidence in the text to support your thinking, but you will also need to explain why that answer makes sense and is reasonable. So these are the action words that you'll see used in level 2 questions. As you look through them, you can see that they will take more effort on your part to shape an answer to them. These question frames help you develop your thinking process and shape level 2 questions. Notice that the action words are changing in level 2. Your purpose of questioning is to go deeper and to gather more information so that you'll see words like compare and prove, explain, and analyze because you're digging deeper into your understanding of the topic. Read through these examples and get a feel for some of these level 2 questions. So now let's take a look at how our example questions change from level 1 to level 2 questions. When we start with what is photosynthesis at level 1, level 2 then becomes how is photosynthesis similar to the way humans breathe? That level 1 question of how was coding first invented becomes how would you categorize coding as another form of language? The level 1 question of when did World War II occur then becomes why do you think America was slow to join the fight in World War II? Level 1 question of how would you describe the main character of this story can shift to how are the main character and her best friend different? In the last example, level 1 question of can you list 3 different conflicts in the story will then become and evolve to analyze why the character kept avoiding and trying to run away from his problems. Now, in this last example, I want to point out something. Many times in school environment, teachers or tests will sometimes shape questions that are written in directions as statements. This is a great example of that. We can still see the verb for a level 2 question, analyze. And we can still see that the actual question is answering, why is the character avoiding his problems? So just be aware that the levels of questioning apply in all of our thinking and processing when we're trying to learn. For level 3 then, level 3 questioning involves using the background information you've studied to apply your ideas, revise your thinking, and analyze and evaluate yours and other people's conclusions. The answers are open-ended, big picture, and opinion-based. They connect what you have learned to the world around you. These are the action words used in level 3 questions. They are the heavyweights in deep questioning because they're asking you to apply your learning. Questioning at this level can feel frustrating because you'll be uncertain that your answer is the right one. But these questions are the most rewarding ones to answer. It is in these moments of feeling frustrated and uncertain that you know that you're challenging yourself and the world around you, and that is evidence of meaningful learning. As you look through these question frames, you'll see that the questions that they would shape will ask you to really dig into your learning. The questions at this level are what top performers in every field of study reach for. These questions help to inspire creativity, fuel passion, spur us to action, and lead to profound, world-changing ideas. Now that we're understanding level 3 questions, we're going to go back and examine how our example questions can evolve now from level 2 to level 3 questions. How is photosynthesis similar to the ways that humans breathe? That's that comparison, right? It can now become, would it be better if we genetically engineered plants to be more efficient at photosynthesis? How would you categorize coding as another form of language? Becomes, how does coding show up in our daily lives to solve problems for humans? Why do you think America was slow to join the fight in World War II? Digs in deeper with what are the impacts of putting Americans of Japanese ancestry into internment camps in World War II. The level 2 question of how are the main character and her best friend different can become predict how you would respond to the main character if you were her best friend. And analyze why the character kept avoiding and trying to run away from his problems now becomes, do you agree with the way the main character handled this conflict? Why or why not? It's time to practice the 3 levels of questioning to make sure that you're confident moving forward. To do that, let's take a look at this image. Think of the 3 levels of questioning and create a question at each level for this picture. Pause the video and think about those 3 questions. Once you've got those 3 questions, go ahead and push play again. All right, so some examples to verify your thinking and make sure you're on the right track might be level 1. When I look at this picture, a level 1 question would be, what do you see in this picture? Identify what are the objects in the picture? So identify and describe based on the text, which in this case is a picture. A level 2 question might look like, explain why the gun is lower than the gavel in the picture. To answer that, I'm going to need to combine the details that are in this text with my own knowledge to come to a decent conclusion, a reasonable conclusion. Level 3 then might look like, what do you think the creator of this image is trying to communicate? I'm going to need to use the details that are in this picture to base my thinking and my answer on, but the answer is also going to rely on working through the frustration and uncertainty to provide a reasonable answer. I'm going to have to work through what I think it might be and might not be. I'm going to have to think about what the meaning and symbols within these pictures or the symbolism of the objects being used. I'm going to have to go over my thinking and reevaluate until I can come up with a reasonable explanation. We're going to try it again then with some more practice. Go ahead and pause the video and then create 3 questions, 1 for each level for this picture. When you feel like you've got a solid 3 examples, then go ahead and push play again. All right, nice work. We're going to take a look at another example because practice makes permanent. We'll keep at it. I need you to create 3 questions, 1 for each level of this picture. And go ahead and push pause and do that now. When you're ready, hit play again and come back. All right, for another example, so that we can continue to practice and keep at this, create 3 more questions, 1 for each level for this picture. Go ahead, pause the video to complete that, and then come on back. All right, to wrap up our video on Costa's levels of questions, I want to leave you with some final thoughts to ponder on why asking good questions is so important to learning. We often think that in situations when we don't know something, that's the only real time worth asking questions. However, it's also when we are certain that we do know something that we need to ask questions about what we really do know, like, where is our information coming from? Are our answers as complete as we think they are? And are the answers that we found years ago, like why is the sky blue, still the best answer that we can give?